Hey everybody, I'm back. A little bit of late night prep cooking for my pizza for the weekend. I know myself, I love pizza so much, and I know I'm gonna want or crave some pizza sometime over the weekend. So big thing is that I gotta prep some dough. Well, I found a great recipe on Adam Ragusia's site of some New York style pizza. So a little thinner crust, a little bit of that foldy bendy, which I really like in there. Sometimes just a good cheese pizza in there. And so I thought, you know what? It's at night. If I can, it's been a long day, but if I can make myself a little bit of some pizza dough and make it into some individual portions and stuff, then I'd be all set for the weekend, definitely, and then maybe even to next week. So I thought I'd prep that today. So I've got I've got Ragusia's latest video up. I'm going to kind of follow it. Now he goes into like actually cooking the pizza and making the sauce and doing that stuff. All I need tonight is to make the dough. So let me kind of just look and see what he's doing. All right, so basically just getting a big bowl in here, and he's putting in 2.5 cups of warm water. So let's get 2.5 cups of warm water. Where's my... there you are. So let's get a little warm water going. We'll nuke it for a little bit. 2.5 cups. There's my tube. 1, 2. Mine only goes up to 2. I'm going to have to do this in little separate things. Not a bad thing. Right, and we got to get out the yeast. Let's get the yeast. And I know we're going to need a little bit of sugar for the yeast to be able to eat. So let's get our sugar out. Sugar. There you are. There you are. All right. We've got our sugar. We've got our food for the yeast. Let's get this one. We don't want it too hot because we don't want to kill the yeast. But we do want it warm so it kind of activates. So this is our 2 cups, and then we're going to add a 1/2 cup along with it. So, how are we doing? It's getting there. It's getting there. It's getting there. This is so great. This makes like 4 portions. So I'm going to have 4 pizzas that I can make up. And I'm finding that I really like this type of dough. And it's... ooh, that's perfect. So let's do that. And I'm finding it much better than doing a 5.5. Where's my half? Right there. Boom. And a half. Then ordering. So when I have the sauce, I have my cheese. I just got to have the dough ready to go. So I figured I'd prep it. And I thought I'd bring you along on the journey of prepping this. So you guys can do this too. So 2.5 cups of water to begin with. And he puts the water in all at once. That's a little warm. That's a little warm. You know what? When I mix it up with the other, it might be okay. Let's mix that up. Oh yeah, that'll be perfect. That'll be perfect. All right, so he adds that first. Then the next thing he does is a tablespoon of sugar. And I remember in the video he talks about that. A lot of people might think, well, that's too sweet in there, but he's found that it doesn't. He tests a lot of this stuff. That really doesn't add any sweetness to it. Where is my tablespoon? Oh. It just gives a good foundation, good something for the yeast to eat. So 1 tablespoon, boom, sugar. All right, perfect. And then, what does he have? How much yeast does he use? He uses. He's like explaining why it is. Okay, 1 teaspoon of dry yeast. So 1 teaspoon of dry yeast. 1 teaspoon. There we go. So let's get this out. Of active dry yeast. Ooh, there we go. Oh, it's going all over the place. This was all ready to go. Boom. So 1 teaspoon of this. There we go. All right. And then he mixes it up. Gets it all going in there. Actually uses his finger. I'll use my finger too. All right. And then he waits about 5 minutes. All right, so blooming the yeast. Let's get that in there. Basically, it's just checking if the yeast is alive is pretty much what you're doing here. And it's a pretty cool phenomenon. Let's put about 5 minutes on there. Where it actually it looks like a science experiment when you're doing. You guys actually kind of see that a little bit? I think you can in there. And let me pause his video in there. He's got to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil when this is all set to go. So let's prep these. We'll clean these up. Actually, this is, to be honest, this is the first time that I've done this. I want to see the science experiment. Alright. So olive oil. We'll have that ready. See if we get the old science experiment in there. And the next thing with the adding of the olive oil, it's he was talking about that like you could add this stage in a little bit later, but it's like right when you're trying to knead the dough, and it's a little hard to incorporate all the oil that you need. So putting a little bit of oil in at this stage is actually okay, and it makes it a lot easier to kind of knead when you go through it. Oh. Do I see anything? It's alive! I don't know if you can see it. It's bubbling. It's like little explosions. Oh my gosh. Can you all see this? Do you see the little explosions? Alright, it was exploding until I moved it. I wasn't supposed to move it. Can you see that down in there? Oh my gosh. It's working. Oh yeah, when you stop moving it, you can see that it's moving. That's fascinating. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm just like, wow, wow, wow. Now it wasn't as, oh, there it goes, there it goes. Now it's getting the little explosions again. Boom, 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 boom. You forget that yeast is a living thing. There it goes. Oh my gosh, that's absolutely amazing. that it actually does that. I don't know, blows my mind. I used to love chemistry in school and getting things together and see how they react with each other and stuff. Oh my gosh, that is absolutely amazing. Huh. Too funny. All right, we got a minute left. We'll let it go a little bit longer. Yeah, it's so funny because when you look at it, you catch like all the little things. This is moving, that's moving. Which is a great thing to know that your yeast is not dead. Yeah, that is amazing. Wow. Huh. All right, 30 seconds left. All right. And so we're going to put 2 tablespoons of olive oil in there. All right. 2 tablespoons of olive oil. 1 tablespoon. 2. Awesome. Put that right in there. Then, what's our next step? I think we got to put some salt in there. I think we got to put some salt. Let's see what he does next. So we got the olive oil, and then he puts in a tablespoon of salt. Okay, I got to clean that. That's a tablespoon of salt. Actually, I've got a half. A half tablespoon, that's a teaspoon. Have another one then? 1 tablespoon, yeah, we can use this one. Of salt. Yeah. And he talks about, well, some people might say, oh, you might be killing the yeast at this phase. So he said, he's like, nope. It would take a lot of salt to kill it. All right. So we're going to be good with all of it. Wonderful. All right. So we've got our salt in there. Next, he's going to put in, we got to put a lot of flour. He was going 5 cups of flour, because this is going to make 4 doughs in there. Let's see, I have the sound off. I think he says, there it is, 5 cups of flour. All right. Let's go to town. 5 cups of flour. All right. So, boom, boom, boom. Actually, you know what? Because I don't want to spill it out by accident. Let's go 5 cups this way. 1. There we go. 1. 2. Hard to get the stuff at the bottom there. Whoop. See, that's why I didn't want to do it directly over the bowl. Boom. 3. 4. How is this? If I put the rest in here, that looks. That might be a little shy. Let's see. That's like a 4.5. You know what? Let's not risk it. Because Adam's really good on his recipes. Let's open up the new bag. Sometimes opening these bags are the hardest part. There we go. Nice. let's get a nice full cup. There you go. That'll work. All right. Boom, boom, boom. New bag of flour. Love it. All right. Boom. Okay. Now, I think he just starts mixing it, right? So he goes 5 cups of red flour. Yep, and then just mix it. Mixing. And then he'll start kneading. So let's do the mixing part. Get this all hydrated. Yeah, I love these new mixing spoons I got. Really nice to get into the bottom and bring it up to the top. How's it looking? Looking a little bit like his? I think so. I think so. It's starting to get sticky. We like that. Oh, and he said that sometimes we might need a little extra flour as we're doing this. So let's have it out just in case I need. Just in case I need. Let's get that in there. Alright. Get that in there. Okay. Alright. I think we're there that, and then he just starts kneading it with his hands to where he likes everything is kind of absorbed, the flour's all in there, and he gets into a smooth thing. So let's start. Yeah, and he adds a little bit of flour when it gets a little bit too much. So let's start doing this. Your hands are going to get super sticky. Super sticky because of this. Moving this along. Alright. Gosh, it's like really sticky. Alright, Adam. I'm following you, buddy. Yeah. We might have to add some because like my hands are like really Alright, let me pause what he's got in there. Alright. So he was going, let's see, ooh. Best way to do this, maybe take another spoon. Get a little bit of that in there. Yes, just come together a little bit easier. Let's get a little bit of this off. There we go. Nice. Oh, that was the spoon I was using, the flour. Might have to grab a little bit more flour too. Alright, let's get this off of our fingers. Yeah. Because it says you want a wet dough, but not too wet of a dough. So right now, I think I'm under the category of too wet of a dough. Alright, but not too bad. I got more spoons. There we go. Now it's starting to come together a little bit. Yeah. And he was mentioning that, be easier if you had like, one of the stand mixers or something like that. But they're such an expensive item. He really didn't want to have to, do something that, require people to buy such a thing. Now, I don't have a stand mixer. And so that helps me a lot, not having, look at this, now I'm getting it all over the place. But this is now starting to look a little bit more. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. A little more of what Adam was starting to do. So let's get a little bit more on my hands so we don't get so much in there. There we go. There we go. A little less sticky. Now it's starting to come. Gosh, that is a sticky dough. Wow, wee wow. Anytime I really give some force, so you can see my hand just gets covered in the dough. Very, very sticky. I hope there isn't something I'm missing. I don't think so. It still seems like with that stickiness that I could use some more flour. I hope I'm not over flouring it. But, that's the cool thing about cooking, is that you kind of see as you do stuff. And really, this is the first time that I've tried this. Look, the flour's getting all over the place. I love it. Ooh. Now we're starting to get a little bit more. Let's get a little. Wrong one. Get a little bit more of the hands. There we go. There we go. Yeah, that's what we want. When I do this, that it's starting to come together. There we go. Now I can actually take some of this, put this into the dough. Yeah. Wow, there's still sections of that's so doughy. Now I know why in his videos and stuff this gets sped up. Get a good arm shoulder workout here. Okay. All right, I think we're doing good. A little bit more. That's a good poof. There we go. Oh, that is a lot of dough too. His bowl didn't look that much bigger than mine. I bet it is. All right. Again, let's see if we can take some of this dough off my hands and get it into there. Very, very sticky for a lot of it. Fold that in. There we go. I actually might clean some of this off of my hands real quick. There's a lot of stickiness coming off of there. If I could start with clean hands, I think that'll work out a little bit easier. that. There you go. Much cleaner, much easier. Let's see how that's going to work for us. Try it out for a while. All right. Ah, yeah. There we go. That's much better. Just keep on getting that in there, developing all the stuff in there. Oh, it's still a little bit sticky. That's a sticky dough. Yeah. Maybe that's the difference between what I was working. I was using the King Arthur flour recipe. This one, going off of what Adam was. Also, could be a difference of using the, because I've used the instant active yeast. All right. Now he wants us to kind of check. Nope, that's breaking apart way too easy. All right, because he's talking about take like a little bit. Can you make a window out of it? Nope. I tell you, you want good risks. Need your own dough. They say to my stream, it's like, get ready for the exciting part of the evening. There we go. Yeah, we must have added, gosh, I don't know, how many spoons did I add? I must have added almost, I would say at least a cup. How's that? Is that a little bit better? Ooh, ooh. A little bit of breakage. Little bit of breakage. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. I like where this dough is going. I like where it's going. Shoot. All right. Actually, as I'm going, it gets stickier. I don't know if that's a thing. Nope, still breaks apart pretty easy. He's like, you should be able to stretch it. And it should be okay, you know, and you have like, basically so it doesn't tear. Maybe one of the things that I underestimated is how much you have to knead it. So I've also seen like doughs that you don't have to knead very much. And maybe with this one, you have to knead a lot. So we'll see. That's the fun thing I enjoy about cooking, is even if you have a recipe that you know, if you try something different, alter it a little bit, you might find something else out. All right. See, it breaks apart like that. He's like, make sure it doesn't break apart. I'm trying, Adam. I'm trying. I really did, everybody. I thought this was going to be a shorter video. That's starting to feel good. That's starting to feel good. Yep, I think we're practically there. I think a lot of it's going to be done. Now, I think when he's done, he starts to break it up. He starts to break it up into parts to separate it, to put it into all the stuff that he needs. All right, so let's see what we got here. So let's see in his video what the next step is. Get a clean finger. Boom. All right. And you know what? Even when he was doing the thing, when he was pulling it apart, it was still sticky on his fingers too. So I don't feel so bad. Now, he oils 4 different containers. I got containers of different sizes because I don't have some like the nice uniform stuff like he has in there. But we're going to grease each one up individually and put one in each thing. So I've got a bigger bowl, boom, like that. I've got a couple of smaller bowls, smaller Tupperware, just something that allows them to expand. Let's do that. So he was taking this and kind of taking it in half and tearing it apart. He's like, all right. Okay, that's about even. And then stretching this apart. And pull it to, oh, I need to put in the oil first. Oh, hold on. Can I do, oh, I have to wash my hands again. Oh my gosh. If you don't have the oil in there first, it's going to stick all over the place. Now see, if I had an editor, that would go into the blooper reel. That would go into the blooper reel. I'm like, all right. I should have known that. So let's get some olive oil down here. A little bit in there. A little bit into the tall one. And a little bit into that one. There we go. Alright, so here was my, well, you know what? We can just gather it up, pull it apart again. Alright, so he kind of goes like this. He just tears it. I'm like, alright. Just tear that apart. Boom. And then take this, elongate it, and tear it apart. Boom. Alright. And then he puts one in there. He puts one in here. Boom. He puts one in here. And separates this out. Boom. There we go. That. And that. And it gets all in the oil. Use it to lather up everything. Makes it into a nice ball. Does that thing where you do like the underneath. I've actually always been pretty good at that. Yeah. There we go. Get that in there. Get it all around the sides. Beautiful. Same thing with this one. Alright. Bring it, shape it. Put it all around like that. Get that bottom close in on itself. Nice. There you go. Use that to oil everything. There we go. Same thing with these little ones. Get this. Oil up the sides. Well, the same thing. Turn that in. Put that in so that rises. And then the same thing with this one. Yeah. Alright. So, and actually, one of them's bigger than the rest. So we're going to have a little bigger pizza, and then we're going to have 3 like little, remember those little individual pan pizzas that they used to have at Pizza Hut? Almost about like that size. Beautiful. And the great thing here is I can have that, he said, like between 1 and like 7 days. So yeah, I can just let these things proof. And so I got pizza for the weekend and maybe a couple of days next week as well. So, all right. Let's wash the hands. That's the nice thing. If you can, I don't know if you can see on the thing, pretty late at night, it's almost midnight. But man, am I going to be so glad that I have all of these all set to go. All right, got one there. Put that in the fridge. Small one in there, right in there. That rise. Then we've got our kind of our medium-sized one. Let's get that going. And then kind of our bigger one. We'll have kind of a bigger pizza there. See how that, it looks bigger. We'll see how the final comes out. So, there we go. So, let's see, where can I fit this in? That's a lot of pizza in the fridge. So there we go. So a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Was there anything else that he mentions? I'm just kind of looking. He was making sure to try to have a little equal weight to all of them, which we kind of did in there. But again, you can put it into the fridge, and you can have that. So I've got 4 pizzas all prepped. Sauce, you can use anything that you want. He adds a little bit to just a I forget what brand of tomato sauce he used, but it wasn't like it was just like the tomato puree, stuff, and he mixed in a little bit of extra sugar and oregano and stuff in there to his taste. And then the cheese, he liked using the whole milk mozzarella, grated up yourself. You could put a foundation of, after you put down the sauce, put a little bit of Parmesan on there just for a little bit of that. Yeah. And so putting your oven as high as you can. If you've got a pizza stone, that works out really good. It only takes like about 8 to 10 minutes. So a lot of different ways that you can cook it up. But now you've got some nice dough. You want to make a pizza, which I know I'm going to want to make a pizza sometime this weekend. And because I love pizza so much. So, all right. I hope you enjoyed this. This is our second installment of our of Maty's Cafe, of kind of just showing you a little bit of cooking in there. Definitely not an expert at it, but I like watching a lot of food videos and reading a lot of cookbooks and getting some ideas and stuff. And every day I'm doing more and more cooking. So come along on the journey with me, and we'll have some more fun. All right, thank you everybody. Have a good evening. Bye.